What's going on, noobs? I am the Perpetual Noob, and welcome back to another Hollow Knight Silksong First Win boss video. Today, we're going to be talking about the 9th boss that I have defeated in my first journey through Farloom, Widow. So we find Widow deep in the heart of, well, Bell Heart. Insert a ba-dum-tsh there. So I remember seeing her entrance to like the arena, her arena, or like seeing that entrance and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get out of there. Is that a boss fight? Oh, that's a boss fight, isn't it? Oh, okay. And then we drop in, and I saw the game give me the speak option, and I thought, oh, all right, well then this is just some person. Okay, they're gonna be friendly. Hooray! And then she starts talking to us, and Hornet's like, oh no, we're fighting now. He's like, all right, here we go then. Just a brief note, there's so much lore dropped by Widow. I still haven't fully analyzed all of it, and we're definitely going to get into that a whole lot more in the boss discussion, because we just don't have the time for that in this kind of video. So Widow is actually a pretty quick boss. Like, she's quick with her movements, she's quick with her attacks. There's very little space in between her attacks. She has, in her first phase, 4 attacks. Her skitter, her dive kick, her bells, and then her second bells. Please give me attack names, suggestions in the comments below, please. Because bells and second bells, what am I doing? When Widow skitters, she runs across the arena and then lifts with Silk mounds of like jagged bells and spikes. She lifts them up from the ground, and these pieces of metal do 2 masks of damage. They kind of like rise up temporarily, but they rise up like in the order or direction that Widow goes. So as she goes, left to right, they will kind of follow her shortly after. Widow's dive kick starts with her in midair, which, BT dubs, she can kind of like crawl along the silk in midair before she does this. So she can move in midair. It's kind of a cool little like touch that she is like a spider and she can walk along webs. That's just nifty. But she'll start in midair for this dive kick, and then with slicey claws, she'll dive towards us, and then launch along the ground with a couple more swipes. She can change direction after the dive, so she can dive to the left and then charge to the right if she needs to try to target us better. This attack does hit multiple times and will do multiple masks of damage. So her bells attack, the first one. Well, yes, that's first bells, but what about second bells? We'll get to second bells in a little bit, Pippin, calm down. In her first bells attack, Widow will be pulling at Silk to pull like singular bells down, either straight down or at an angle to get them to bounce around the arena. The bells do 1 damage, and she can kind of pull them from just about anywhere for this one. The second bells attack has Widow pulling bells straight down in like a couple of different patterns, at least what I saw. 4 bells on each side of the arena, or 7 bells on either like one side of the arena or in the center of the arena. And then in phase 2, Widow's bell attacks are enhanced in that she will pull down more bells, covering more of the arena. But she doesn't like have any new patterns, and her like second bell's attack is not enhanced. She's not like pulling 9 or 10 bells down or anything like that. Again, at least as far as what I saw. And then she does gain a new slicey attack where she will just dash across the arena, slicing away. Another really cool thing with Widow is that at least her bell attacks all kind of show you where the bells are coming from, because there's little strands of silk telegraphing where the bell is going to be coming from. And that's just really nifty. Like, there's a lot of cool design elements to Widow and her arena and her fight. And we'll definitely get into more of the details of all of that in the boss discussion. Widow can be stunned. And slightly related, thankfully Widow's hurt box actually deals only 1 mask of damage. So it seems to be just her like slicey attacks and then the big metal spikes that she will summon that can do multiple masks worth of damage, which is nice. I like that. That felt very it felt very balanced. And then I remember when I beat her the first time, I was thinking like, oh, okay. And I've got to put beat her like in quotes there. But I was thinking like, okay, that was a pretty solid fight. Yeah, all right. Not super difficult, you know, she just seemed to not have a lot of health. And then, bam! Yeah, that was frankly, I thought it was a really great fake out. I was very convinced. And then she jumped into phase 2 and I was like, you know what? Well done for you, Widow. Well done. So in this fight, in my first win against Widow, I was using the Wanderer crest because the Wanderer crest is a great crest. It is just a great overall crest. You know, we've got that beautiful Hollow Knight-like pogo. I was using that a lot. On Widow. Essentially, that was my response to essentially every non-Bell attack. Widow dive kick, pogo over the dash. Widow skitter, pogo over. Widow again. Widow does a dash, pogo again. I used it a lot. It was just a very useful damaging attack. I would strike at her a lot whenever she was pulling the silks for the Bell attacks. That was also usually a good time to get healing in, was when she would be starting up her Bell attacks, because she would have an animation of like pulling at the silk threads and not doing anything else. So that worked out as a great opportunity to heal, as did whenever she got stunned. But that was also, like I said, a time when I'd get in a lot of damage. And that is how I secured my first win against Widow. I think I'm actually starting to get a bit faster with these in terms of, you know, like condensing all of my rambling into shorter time periods. Thank you all for joining me today, noobs. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of the Widow fight, what you think of Widow as a character herself. I'm very curious because I know there was a lot of lore dropped, and again, there will be more of a lore discussion done in the boss discussion, but I'm still just very curious to know what your thoughts are. I am the Perpetual Noob, and I'll see you all next time.